Hello, welcome to the Late Night Lounge here on Latte. It is Friday, the 5th of December. And as the weeks get closer and closer to Christmas, the festive football is about to begin. And Arsenal head to Villa Park tomorrow after what's been a grueling 4 games in 10 days. The North London derby, Bayern Munich, Chelsea, Brentford. And tomorrow it's Unai Emery's Aston Villa, who are in third place, having won 8 out of their last 9 Premier League games. Their form is absurd. It's the early kickoff on Saturday morning. Welcome to the show. Hope you've all had a fantastic week. Hope you're all in good health. Hope you're all enjoying work and school and uni and whatever it is that you choose to do. Welcome. If you're tuning in for the first time, please do, of course, drop a subscribe on the channel if you enjoy the content, of course, and get involved in the chat. And tonight, a lucky Patreon member will win a shirt of his or her choice. Also recognizing that many of you support the channel from overseas, you will get a voucher of a similar value to Arsenal.com that you can buy yourself or some loved ones some festive fun. How about that? So welcome to the show. Lots to cover tonight. We're going to talk about the World Cup draw that's just happened. I didn't watch any of it, but Yembele wants to talk about it, so we're going to do that. We'll talk about Mikel Merino because he is the man, the myth, the enigma. I don't know what he does still, but he's unbelievable in any position that he plays. And then, of course, we'll look ahead to the weekend of Barclays action. Let's go straight to the chat. Whole Milk, these injuries are getting ridiculous, he says. Yes, of course, the breaking news today that Christian Mosquera is going to be out for between 6 and 8 weeks after picking up an injury in the game against Brentford. When is it going to end for Arsenal? It does not look good. An injury to a 21-year-old defender who's been in fine fettle. 6 to 8 weeks, according to Sammy Mockbell. Viggs Welcome says, evening. Even though this was an unfortunate landing injury, sack the medical staff, he says. It's getting ridiculous. It's always 6 to 8 weeks and always cluster injuries. Gabriel also played in a nonsensical friendly. Look, you can't blame the medical staff for a landing injury. I mean, the players had an impact there and he's gotten injured and it's now 6 to 8 weeks for recovery. Let's hope they get it right. With Gabriel, you can't knock a man for wanting to play for his country. Yes, he was managing his load. Yes, Arsenal could have been a bit more influential. But at the end of the day, the player has to take a little bit of responsibility. But we are the people and the club that suffers. DJ D10 Welcome says, live in 2 hours. We're live now, baby. I know that was some time ago. Thanks to everybody who waits so patiently ahead of these shows. It is good to see you in the house. Tamina's here, says Arsenal will smash Villa 6-0 or even 10-0 on Saturday. 10-0. You might be Elliot from the Arsenal Vision podcast in disguise. She goes on to say, Saliba will start for Arsenal on Saturday. I hope you know something that I don't. Let's wait and see. Josh Welcome says we should weave our guesses as to who gets hurt next into the prediction segment of the show at this rate. Yeah, it's not looking good. We've had a lot of injuries this season. And thank goodness that the squad is stacked. But even that it is stacked, how can this go on? They're just dropping like flies, week after week, game after game, player after player. Vlad, welcome. Good evening. Big game tomorrow. 3 points would be massive. Come on, you Gunners. It is a massive fixture. I went into the North London derby saying this was a big fixture. I went into Bayern Munich thinking, no, that's an even bigger fixture. And then Chelsea at Stamford Bridge thinking, wow, gargantuan. Then Brentford at home became a big deal. And now tomorrow, Villa Park against the informed team in the Premier League. They're only 6 points behind us. Unai Emery's men have the bit between their teeth. Wayne will be happy. T. Blake Music says, greetings from the US. The World Cup draw was ridiculous. That's where we're going to start. Elite thumbnail, though. Yes, my boy. He knows the effort that goes into these thumbs. Jizzle evening all. Your Uncle Unai has something disgusting planned for us. We are not ready. Yembele's burner account, isn't it? Good evening, says Lucio. Karen's here, says hello. Hope everyone is well. What do we all think about the World Cup draw? I missed most of the show, so I only saw the draw and the cringe comedy beforehand. We will talk about the World Cup draw to start off. And actually, listen, the chat is already fantastic. What's up, everybody? Good evening, gangsters. Good evening to Ali as well. Donald, welcome to the show. I wasn't late this time, Ali. It was Wayne. He's late. So you chuck him some virtual pelters when he joins. Snack check. Oh, yes, there will be a snack check. And I've got a pretty good one thanks to one of our Patreon members who was very kind to give me a gift at a recent game. Paz of the Cat's in the house. Tudor Madeline's in the house. Anthony is here as well. Welcome. Keep the chat active. Let's go straight to our guests. First up, Yembele. How the devil are you, sir?
I'm all right, mate. You don't sound too like 100%, though. I think you may be on the sidelines.
My voice is basically the football. In 10 days, the North London derby, Bayern Munich, Chelsea obviously going to the bridge and screaming at Anthony Taylor, and then Brentford on Wednesday with my boy. I've just tomorrow might just be the end. I'm honestly, I just haven't recovered. I've been talking like this at work all day. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're too addicted to football." I mean, I am.
It's gravelly. Hello there. How's it going? Very late.
It is kind of, latte foam after dark. But welcome, my friend. You're smiling for once. Have you had a good week?
Oh, it's been a long week, mate, and you know why, but won't go into that. But yeah, it's just been a long week, and glad for the weekend, but not really that it's a 12:30 kickoff with a informed team. I will say I'm a little nervous.
It is going to be a big game. I want to get all your thoughts on the team, the selection, Villa, how you feel about going into the game shortly. We are, of course, going to talk about the World Cup. Lots of people in the chat want to talk about it, as Lane Guna says hi, as does Raphael Kachinov. And Sir Nicholas T, Evening FK, love a late night match preview, time to put our hard hats on and let's take care of business. Let's bring in Wayne Bailey. Wayne, how are you, brother?
I'm shattered. It's been a very long week. Both my daughter's really unwell at the minute. She's got some sort of bug, flu, cold, all of the above, which is maybe turned into a bit of an ear infection. So she's up every sort of hour, every 2 hours throughout the night. So, and then obviously being around her and kind of being closer to her, I got sick obviously at the early part of the week. I was absolutely wiped out of it for a good couple of days. But yeah, hopefully on the mend now and able to take part in some of the Christmas festivities over the weekend if she's feeling a little bit better.
Well, we wish your daughter well, of course. It's not easy being a parent and having a young child who is poorly. So wishing you and Mrs. Wayne all the very best. Good evening to everybody who's just joining the show. Hundreds of you watching already live on YouTube. Please do drop a like in the video, subscribe if you are new. No, Donald, it is not a recycled thumbnail. The images of the three of us is absolutely permanent, but the ground in the background always changes. How about that? They're my artistic qualities. And Unai Emery giving a very pensive, confused kind of look, as he so often did on the Arsenal touchline. Chaps, let's get snack check out of the way, because we've got a packed show. We're going to talk about the World Cup. We're talking about Mikel Merino. We're going to talk about the Premier League fixtures this weekend. Then, of course, look ahead to our game, which is the first game of this Barclays weekend tomorrow. Yembele, let's go with you first. What you got for us as the chat? Let me know. What are you snacking on tonight, ladies and gents, boys and girls?
So you did this a couple of weeks ago. I've gone with the other one of it, which is the Milka Jaffa cake, but I've got the orange flavor, not the raspberry one, because I'm partial to orange. Orange is my favorite flavor.
I don't think I've seen the orange ones. I've only actually seen the raspberry ones. This is on the shop on the Broadway, right? By the station.
International.
Nice. Yeah, well, tuck in, mate.
I will. I enjoyed them.
Are they superior or inferior to McVitie's Jaffa cakes?
They are different, I would say. I would say the McVitie's Jaffa cake has a special place in my heart. This is milk chocolate versus dark, and I think it works very well with the Jaffa cake. I don't know why, but delicious.
Yeah, nice any different, or is it exactly the same?
No, it's different. The milk chocolate it makes it a bit sweeter.
Okay, interesting.
I wouldn't say like I'm like. A Jaffa cake, I can go through like 20 of them in a sitting. I could easily down all of them. They're so good. I'd say this doesn't float my boat as much. It's nice, but it's not elite.
Okay. Well, it's sort of 6, 7 out of 10. Fair enough. Donald says, my voice is furked, but it is from a bit of a heavy cold. Yeah, it's that time of year. There's obviously a lot of stuff going around, earaches, coughing up mucus and all that sort of jazz. Look after yourselves. Hope you guys are feeling better. Karen says, get the little one some sorbet. That should see her feel better, to Wayne there. Russell's Heart in a Cage says, evening snack check is a box of Family Circle biscuits. £2 for Morrison. Get in. That is a bit of a result.
I bought that as well. Elite combo.
Yeah, it's not a bad selection, is it? Yeah.
Biscuits done in the first day. I just went through all of them. Jammy Dodgers second day. Boom. God. Love it. £2.
I love that. Manny says today he's got potato pakoras with a cup of tea and some Maltesers as his sweet treat to follow. Danny says chocolate snack cakes. Dave is here. Welcome, Dave. White chocolate fingers? I don't think I've ever had white ones. Are they not a bit sickly? Are they good?
Chocolate
They're not
fingers,
great, man. So
chocolate
good.
fingers are elite, but white ones I wasn't a big fan. And I like white chocolate as well.
I'm not. You know what? I have to say I'm not too keen on white chocolate. Are you really sickly? Nah.
Do you know what? This one falls below Dave's usual standards. Dave usually has some really weird stuff from his local offie, and that just feels like it's very spog standard. Dave, come on, up the game, back back to normal levels. What are these levels? What are the fogging standards?
Yem's in a really good mood. It's really strange. AFC 777 says chocolate and pistachio ice cream, a new banger of a dessert from Aldi. Orange, you glad we have a deep squad this season? I think you mean to say, aren't you glad? Unless you're having oranges.
The snack check. The snack check.
Very good. Very good. Star Mix in the house says Anthony. Very good. Hi FK, my guy says Uni. Welcome to the show. Lame good. McVitie's got talking McVitie's. I saw McVitie's digestives pink in the shop the other day. So you know how they've got like obviously milk chocolate McVitie's digestives. They've got dark chocolate. They've got caramel. They've got double chocolate or triple chocolate, whatever it was that week. The pink version is raspberry and cream. Have a look at that.
I saw this. I immediately went, "This is absolutely wrong. Wrong."
Jay Dime is having
5 packs and you liked them all.
Jay Dime is having a carrot cake with coffee. Carrot cake is good. Dustin says he's having his wife's homemade biscotti. Wayne, what you got for us tonight?
We're going to need a bit of audience participation for this one because it's our first late night lounge of December. So it's the time of year where, what's the date today, FK?
The date is the 5th of December.
I'm going to have a look for the number 5.
Go on then. Where you going? Is it all Maltesers or is it different like shaped Maltesers?
Little, well, I guess shaped. There we go. Number 5 in the top corner there, where hopefully one of our players is going to put it in the top bins. It says, "Dear me," behind the door.
Very good. Well, just as you tuck into that, let me read out DJ D10's. His snack chat tonight is leftovers of a homemade pizza with tuna, shrimp, onions, tomatoes, and blue cheese.
Oh, God.
I mean,
it's a little Christmas present chocolate.
Okay,
oh, that's
okay.
Nice.
It's literally just a different shaped Malteser. You got the biscuit inside, you got the chocolate. Okay, very good, very good.
Pizza with tuna, shrimp, onions, tomatoes,
I can't
and blue
knock
cheese.
pizza with tuna and prawns. It actually genuinely is good, but blue cheese.
Nah.
Not for me. Patrick Carl says, evening. Look forward to a win tomorrow. You and us all, my friend Patrick, but it's going to be a very, very difficult game. Mohammed says he's having a wrap with chicken. And Dr. Hank Venture says, anyone else get the Aldi cheese advent? Didn't even know they did savory advent calendars. Right, my snack check is an absolute golden one today. Thank you to Adam Silito, who is one of our Patreon members. He came to, I believe it was a North London derby, right? You won yourself a ticket because of the Patreon game. What a lovely, lovely chap. Genuinely, there are so many of you who support the channel and just quietly go about your business in the background, and you choose not to sort of engage in the chats and all that sort of stuff. And he won the ticket, which blew him away. He's not been to the Emirates for a while. Turns up on the night, and the sweetest thing. He gave me a packet of like a carrier bag full of Milka goodies. The raspberry Jaffa cakes. He got me an Oreo sort of milk chocolate bar, and I've saved this all week. These are Milka milk chocolate covered mini waffles. They
wafers.
Sorry, they're going to be absolutely sensational. I know it.
Chocolate covered waffles. Chocolate waffles is not a bad shout.
Chocolate waffles not a bad idea. But yeah, sorry, mini wafers. The camera was covering the second half, and my brain just said waffles. So I'm going to tuck into those. Thank you so much, Adam. I just want to say on that note, you guys are so generous in the Patreon community, and of course, channel members. Your contribution to the channel I'm so grateful for it. It goes a very long way, covers so much of the costs, and it allows me to give back to the community. So tonight, one of you lucky Patreon members will get a prize that is worth a shirt of your choice from the Arsenal.com site. And those of you, of course, who live overseas, you will still be entered in that, and you can buy yourselves something nice as well. Dr. Hank Ventures says chocolate waffles are rad. Can confirm. DJ D10 says, I've made chocolate waffles. They are great. Waffles over wafers. No, let's not start that. Let's not start that.
There's a place for both. There's a place for both.
There's a place for both. Absolutely. Adil says he's opted for some vanilla ice cream with chocolate sauce in the end. Right. Oh, Anthony. As soon as I see M&S, my eyes light up. Says the M&S white chocolate cookie are the elite biscuits. I shall leave you to enjoy that. Right, we are indeed waffling about wafers. We need to get on to football chat. As Gogo Wanate says, snack check tonight is Gary and Groundnut from Nigeria. I need to Google that. What is Gary? Oh, Gary and Groundnut. The pictures look pretty cool. Do you add milk to it? What is that? Is that some sort of interesting Interesting. I need to educate myself on that. Well, my friend, go. Enjoy that, my man. Right, welcome to the show. We are now ready to move on to actual football content, only 15 minutes in. We're going to talk straight away. Yembele, the mic is yours. And chat, get involved. What did you make of the World Cup 26 draw?
What a farce. Honestly, I've watched some draws in my time, but this one was the cheesiest I've ever seen before.
Well, before you pass your opinion, what are the headlines? England are going to begin our campaign against Croatia. Scotland are in a group, as you can see there, with Brazil. And as we cast our eye across the board, I mean, I see France and Senegal really catch my attention in Group I.
France and Norway. Haaland versus Mbappe. Mbappe.
Versus who?
Mbappe.
Yeah, versus who?
Haaland.
Yes, of course. Argentina seem like they have quite a straightforward group, respectfully. Portugal will have one of the playoff winners against Uzbekistan and Colombia. England, Ghana could be tasty. Saudi Arabia, who, of course, started off the last World Cup, wasn't it? Beating Argentina, who eventually won it against Uruguay and Spain. That's a tough group. But who else catches your eye? Well, talk to me. You wanted to cover this.
I mean, the draw itself I don't think is anything special in terms of, apart from the ones that you talked about, the France and Norway one particularly catches the eye because it's, two of the biggest strikers in the world going up against each other. But realistically, if you look at this, there's very few big games that catch the eye that you'd go, wow, this is going to be a big one. And it's, none of the big teams are prepared because obviously it's been deliberately kind of made into this kind of thing. For me personally, this World Cup, the expanded format, again, I wait to see what happens with this because I'm not convinced yet. I think this is a lot of games, and I understand why, because there's a commercial aspect to it, and there's been a lot of news about FIFA's pricing this week. I mean, it's apparently, if you're an England fan, it's going to cost you $12,000 if you want to see every England game pretty much. That's ridiculous. And it's like a dynamic pricing which goes up and down depending on demand, and obviously demand will soar for the big games. But to me, this doesn't feel exciting yet. I'm sure it will be, but if I look at teams like, Uzbekistan, Cabo Verde, amazing for them. Look, amazing for those teams that they made it to the World Cup, but it just feels like it's more dilution of the tournament. And
that's a very snobbish take, though, because you can't say on the one hand, Cape Verde and Haiti, yeah, great, good for them. But I mean, this is going to be the pinnacle of their country's representation in elite sport. Like, we had Greece win the Euros, didn't we? That sort of year where they sort of shithoused and tactically managed to get all the way through to a final and win a competition. Like, I mean, why can't they enjoy it?
They can, and absolutely they will. But I just feel like the tournament as a spectacle is diluted more and more, And again, is it for the right reason? Is it for sporting reasons? No, we know it absolutely is not for sporting reasons. This was done purely for money. Look, again, it's great that they, as you said, they can get to the pinnacle of sport. But out of all of these, Cabo Verde, Curacao, Uzbekistan, maybe one of them will get there. Maybe one of them will do well. But I just think it's a lot more football. We're putting a lot of pressure on our players, which we're going to talk about, obviously, in relation to another fact that's happened. And it just feels like it's a money grab again from FIFA, which is not uncommon for them to try and draw out, squeeze as much as possible from every single area that they can. And again, the actual draw itself, I've seen theatre. I've seen my daughter's theatre plays better organised than this thing. It was honestly the most shambolic put together thing I've ever seen. Rio Ferdinand was your presenter. When has Rio Ferdinand ever presented something? He's usually a panelist. Who decided in their right mind that he was it? You're going to get murked. Probably someone watched that and thought, yeah, that's the one.
That was actually pretty good stuff, to be fair. Back in the day, you're going to get murked.
It was. But honestly, he looked really awkward. I thought he looked really awkward. He didn't look like a presenter. He looked like someone who has been the sideman, effectively, the one who's been doing commentary. He struggled to keep it all together, genuinely. But I also thought it was really cringe. The whole Trump Peace Award thing felt very political in an organisation that pretends not to be political. But again, I digress on that. But yeah, it just felt very tacky, I think is the word I'd put for it. Maybe it's someone's cup of tea. It just wasn't for me. It wasn't.
Well, you got a lot of. I agree. It's just more and more games and player welfare, all that sort of stuff. But there were a couple of counters. Dominic saying that more teams makes it much more exciting. And Manny, did you not watch Cool Runnings? You got a dream.
Yeah, man.
Wayne, yeah, Sanka, you're dead, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Wayne, any thoughts on the World Cup? Do you care?
I really don't. I'll watch some of the games because it's the World Cup. I think more teams. I agree that more teams makes it more exciting. Like one of the memories from the last World Cup is that I know Argentina went on to win it, but that Saudi Arabia win against Argentina was monumental. Like it gives you a moment in that game. No one realistically thinks that Saudi Arabia is going to go on to win the World Cup, but imagine they go and beat Spain again. In the last World Cup, there was the group with, I think, was it Germany or Spain, Japan, and then two other random teams, and it was just upside down. Like there was every minute it changed, and at some point, like Spain and one of the other heavyweights were going out, and Japan were going through with, was it Peru? I want to say someone like that, Costa Rica possibly. And the end of that group was entertaining. So I'll be watching the football because it's a World Cup football. From an Arsenal perspective, I thought it was very funny to see Ødegaard against Saliba. I thought that was pretty cool. And I thought it was even more cool to see potentially Kai Havertz against Nketiah. I think that's going to be a decent matchup in Group E. From an England perspective, again, I don't care. But whoever they pay to get these draws, can we start paying them? Because in the FA Cup, I want to see like Morecambe in the third round and not a Premier League side. And then in the fourth round, I want to see the Morecambe under-21 team and not a Premier League side. I want us to pay for England's route because their draws are always so easy.
This was the interesting thing, Wayne, wasn't it? This draw, I will say, Faisal, it was really odd because of some of the nature of the rules. CONCACAF, you can't play people from your own from another federation. For example, when a team was drawn, they said, well, this one can't go into this, so they're going to go into this pot. So it felt very artificial, if I call it that. A lot of it felt very artificial to me. And this draw almost felt like, like Rio Ferdinand just literally said, well, they're going to go into this pot. We've just decided they'll go in this one. So it was very, very, I think a lot of it has been systematically arranged, if I call it that, which is not ideal because obviously if it's not a computer doing it, then someone in the background's doing it, and they'll just be quite biased necessarily because they'll just dump it wherever they feel.
Well, look, there are some big countries missing. One or two people in the chat have talked about Sweden, but of course we know also that Cameroon, who have had a rich sort of history of entertaining us at World Cup, certainly in my sort of younger years. Hungary, Dominic Soboslai, of course, missing out. Georgia won't be there. 145 teams, 145 countries, I must say.
Italy's the biggest one.
Italy, massive. Greece, Serbia, China and India, of course, were not at the tournament. Not that they've got
Bangladesh. Hamza Chowdhury's not there.
Yeah,
Hamza's not there.
From South America, Venezuela, Peru, and Chile. Some big countries. So it's going to be very interesting to see. And listen, I mean, look, I have to be honest with you. When you suggested let's talk about the World Cup, I was like, oh, really? I mean, come on. I have zero interest in international football until the first day of any tournament. And as soon as that anthem comes on the screen, I'm like, come on, Harry Kane FC, let's go, let's have it. But yeah, there are some big teams missing. Let's wait and see. But that is the draw. Don't even know how the format works. Don't really care. Let's move on to Arsenal FC and the place. Oh, forgive me for that. I was basically at swimming, and my daughter, who was just about to go in, said, "Oh, let me help you make your slide deck." And I was like, "Yeah, sure." I was like, "What do you know about PowerPoint?" She was like, "I know about, what is it? Transitions." Right? So she was like, "Oh, do this one because I did it at school." And so she did that, and I promised that I'd keep it in. So now she can watch it back tomorrow. Els, if you're watching, love you, Bubba. Okay, so we are. We've just had a fantastic week of Barclays action. You can see the main man on the right-hand side and that graph league table, courtesy of our partners, Optra Analyst, who say Arsenal are top of the league after 14 games, 33 points on the board. Manchester City did close, thank goodness, to a 9-goal thriller at Craven Cottage, which went their way. They are 5 points behind because of our win over Brentford. Villa, our opposition tomorrow, who we'll talk about later, are in third. And Chelsea, who were so delighted about that point, courageous Caicedo and magical Maresca, and how Chelsea have now entered the title race. The title race lasted 3 days, boss, as they lost to Leeds. What did you guys make of the midweek action? Yem, starting with you.
It was great. Yesterday's Man United was equally as interesting. We
was it
enjoyed
interesting? It was the deadest game.
It was the deadest game
bad
until West Ham equalised. Then it was the greatest game ever.
They could have won it.
They should have won it. They should have won it. They should have won it. But do you know what? Again, the Barclays throws up. Look, Liverpool losing to drawing with Sunderland, and Sunderland should have won it. Enrique Chiesa last minute off the line. You can't write this stuff. Chelsea, as you said, Leeds beating Chelsea and beating them well. It wasn't even like Chelsea were in that match, really. It's just the Barclays again. Newcastle, Spurs going to Newcastle, needing to win. Newcastle should have beaten them, honestly. I don't know how Spurs survived that, but they got a 2-2 and they think Thomas Frank lives another day. It's the Barclays. It was just such an unusual week, and I'm so grateful. I'm honestly so grateful that we had a bog standard, not comfortable, but bog standard win. Give me that. But the Man City one as well. Look, I think the Man City game showed that City do have frailties. They're quite frail. They should have been clearing away. But credit to Fulham for coming back, and they could have drawn that game. It just shows there are. I don't think this Premier League is going to be as clear and cut as it has been in the last couple of years, where it's been 90 points and it's been far and away, the top three go away, because I just think it's so competitive. We've looked, having judged it over the last 14 games, it ebbs and flows, and it's ridiculous right now to say who's going to win it, who's going to be in the Champions League place, because I just think it's crazy at the moment.
I tell you what, we'll look at our rivals, because I've just remembered there's a slide on some of the sort of rival watch. So Wayne, just your quick thoughts on the game in midweek. I've done the match reaction video, which is very popular. Haven't really discussed it with anybody since. Yem describes it as comfortable in the end. That's how I describe it. What did you make of the game?
Yeah, it was. We weren't really troubled by Brentford. The biggest takeaway for me is that we've finally got that air of inevitability from the opposition, because how many times can you think of the opposition coming to our ground and making 5 changes, and 5 changes of key players and importance? They never do. They come normally with their first team, thinking that they can nick something that we're maybe fragile enough to draw or even lose to them at the Emirates. But Keith Andrews and Brentford's sort of priority was clearly Spurs at the weekend, because they think that that's probably where they're more likely to get a result. And I'm just glad that we've entered that territory, because Manchester City have been getting that luxury for the past 4 or 5 years. When teams go to the Etihad, if they've got another game in sort of 3-4 days, they're going to rest against City at the Etihad. We were frustrated seeing that. I think everyone still probably remembers from an Arsenal perspective when Unai faced Manchester City and basically played a full 11 of different players, and we were like, why would you do that? You've got a top 4 that you've got Champions League that you can qualify for. And he was basically proven right, because he obviously got battered by City or whatever it was, and then won the next game again with their full strength team. So I'm glad that teams kind of come to us now with, I hope we can get something, but maybe they're a bit too good for us on this occasion. And that was the case in midweek. And I think my biggest takeaway wasn't even from the Arsenal game. It was that I love him and he was fantastic, but I don't miss Aaron Ramsdale. That I just had PTSD from that slow motion dive to his right hand side with the Romero bicycle kick. We've seen that before. That was just that gave me the shivers.
Go on, Yem. What did you want to say?
No, I was like Wayne. Watching it in slow motion, you're just like, yeah, I've seen this one before.
I can't believe we're still talking about Ramsdale, which is just, it's been what, 2-3 years?
If you had your way, he'd still be here.
Yes, to be number 2, absolutely.
No, you'd be number 1.
We got good money for him, and David Raya is just unbelievable. Talking of inevitability, I mean, we've got to talk about this guy. I mean, I don't know, ladies and gents, boys and girls. I mean, okay, look. This guy's move to centre forward might just be the best piece of coaching and the glow up of football of all time. I mean, the guy came in as a duel monster, someone who's established a career playing sort of centre back and number 6, a little bit of number 8. We all thought he'd maybe come in and be that left 8 for us, that maybe sort of central defensive midfielder cover for big deckers. The guy turns up day one, breaks his elbow or whatever he did, trying to sort of fight Gabriel. Then we have this striker shortage, and Mikel's panicking. Or maybe actually, no, he's not panicking. Maybe he knew all along. Who knows anymore? But like Mikel just goes, right, you are now going to be the Arsenal number 9. And I look at him and I see his goals and I see the way he manipulates the box and the way he crashes the box and the way he relentlessly runs in behind, the way he drops deep and connects and plays a almost sort of number 10 and floats into number 8. He's not a striker, a forward, a midfield. He's just a footballer. He's just a footballer. And I think this guy is unbelievable. I don't know what else to say. I mean, Wayne, let's stick with you. What are we watching? What are we watching here?
I don't know. And the craziest part is like he's come away with a very, very good goal. Like the movement for the header is sensational. Like the instincts to get to that near post, to flick it in, like it's a brilliant, brilliant goal. He comes away with an assist to Saka. And I honestly, I'm not slating him at all. I don't think he was very good. It's mental. Like he will do all of this, and he wouldn't like his all-round game, like and things that he's involved in, the stuff that he's traditionally, I guess, that we thought he was meant to be good at. Being a midfielder, you think he's meant to be good at. Those are the things that he seems to struggle with the most. Whenever the ball comes to him on the halfway line, and he like takes a touch, and he's very slow, and he comes under pressure, I get terrified. But whenever the ball is in the box, I don't trust anyone more than him to finish it, because I just think his finishes have been fantastic. And look, he is the ultimate squad player. He will give you anything that you need. Whatever Arteta wants you to do, he will do it. He still wins those duels. He's fantastic in the air. He's less fantastic with the ball at his feet, but he's got 2 wonderful assists in the past 10 days or whatever it is. The Trossard one in the North London derby, and the ball through to Saka this week against Brentford. So yeah, I don't know what he is at all, but whatever it is, and I know that joke on the that image on the right hand side is meant to be a bit of a joke. If Spain win the World Cup, he's finishing in the top 10. And it's mental that
if Spain win the World Cup and Arsenal win the league or Champions League, this guy's winning the Ballon d'Or.
He probably is. He probably is. And now, what I think after the goal against Brentford, he's our top goal scorer in 2025. He's got 30 goals and assists for club and country in the calendar year. 30. This guy.
Absurd. 22 goals, 8 assists.
Mental. This guy who's meant to be squad rotation and here for duels. That's it. Like, it's all credit to him. He's been fantastic, but his performances aren't fantastic, if that makes sense. It's so strange. It's really weird.
Do you know, this is Van der Gunner, I know you're tongue in cheek. He is a footballer. He's so good at winning free kicks.
Oh no, he really annoyed me though with that penalty.
Right.
When he dived in the box to try and
win
the penalty.
You got to give as good as you get. Come on.
That made me livid.
There was contact with Kelleher. He did instigate the contact, but there was contact.
Awful. It was.
Listen,
awful.
He wins free kicks at the best times. If you watch him when we're under the cosh, or if he needs to give us a bit of a breather, there is no one better. He is absolutely superb. OTPS says the team plays better with him up front. I mean, yeah, he was introduced in as an option as centre forward. You think about the boys who are missing, Gyökeres obviously with injury, Kai Havertz with injury, Gabby Jesus with injury. But even if those boys come back, and you know how much I love all three of them, you know, I absolutely adore Gyökeres. I love Gabby Jesus, and of course, I'm completely besotted with Kai Havertz. And he's fabulous. But like, is it straightforward, Yem, just to take Merino out of the team? Because what he's doing, particularly over the last sort of 6 months, is phenomenal. The way he connects the team and his link-up play, his everything. You think about the goal against Brentford, Yem. Beautiful piece of work on the right-hand side. Ronnie Madueke, Ben White combining. And Merino, he's timed his jump. His heading technique is textbook for a centre-forward. Down into the net. Like, mate, I don't think it's that straightforward. What do you think, Yem?
It's not straightforward because obviously he's got goals and assists. His numbers make it kind of, a very hard decision. I do agree with Wayne that overall, in terms of overall performance, I'm so baffled. He gets G's and A's, but he's terrible on the ball. Honestly, he's so clunky.
He's not terrible.
He's terrible.
No,
Mate, he's got a 57.
No,
what was it?
Let's not do that. He's not terrible, but he's, the way that I describe his first touch isn't amazing, and he turns quite slowly. And he doesn't have that time to rest in the Premier League. I thought that was his biggest struggle when he first started. You can't say he's terrible on the ball.
Mate, his for someone who's been in midfield, who's Spanish as well, his pass completion rate against Chelsea was 43%. Was it? I think Wayne, you touched upon it in your podcast. It was pretty poor.
I don't think any of us played well against Chelsea, to be fair. But you can't say he's terrible on the ball, Yem. Come on, Wayne. He's not terrible on the ball. Terrible.
He's not terrible. He's clunky. Like he's not. That's about it. Like he's
and he overplays it. He tries to overplay it as well. He tries to overplay.
It's disrespectful to call him. It's disrespectful to call him terrible. But he's not clean. Like he's not clean on the ball in midfield. But he's clean on the ball everywhere else. The box, in and around the 18-yard box, like his technique is incredible. Like with the ball at his feet, he's probably the best finisher at the club. Like,
if you allow him in the box, if you leave him in the box and his presence, and you just stick him in the box, he will score you goals because his timing of his runs and the way he positions himself is very, very clever. He's very good at that, especially coming in late behind his defender. But it's how are we? Is he going to do what a Gyökeres? I think each striker offers us something different. Gyökeres is very much your focal point. He will give you space for your Sakas and your Trossards to work against those wide defenders because usually it's 2 against 1. And Gyökeres does that very well. I also think as well, Gyökeres looked, against that in that Burnley game was probably looking his best. That's probably where he was starting to get that match sharpness. So I am still of the opinion that Victor Gyökeres should be the primary striker at the moment. That's just my personal opinion. But you can't argue with what Mikel Merino has done. And as Wayne said, he's a very good squad player. To bring him on in the game and to have him as an option to change how you approach the game is very good. So, yeah, I think he's a very much an enigma player. It's one of those weird ones. You want him in your squad, but do you want him starting? It's always a bit of a question mark.
Well, Karen has taken the line of the night. I can't wait to see him at centre-back. I mean... Hey, Leon, welcome to the show. He says, looking forward to watching Merino fill in at centre-back this week. We'll come on to lineups and Mosquera later, but I did some digging on heat maps, and this is what came up from 6 games last season. But the signs were there. Like, look at it. It's just, every game is different. Every game. And this tells me that he is very much a team player, a Swiss Army knife, as so many people have said in the chat. But he is basically Mikel's, like, ace in the pack. He can play up top. He can play in midfield. He'll be deployed as a defensive midfielder, as an attacking midfielder, as a false 9, as a number 9. Like, and then you look at the image on the right-hand side, which people have been sharing on socials today. He had a stint at centre-back when he was at Dortmund. And then, of course, he was in midfield whilst he was at Real Sociedad. Now, of course, at Arsenal, he finds himself up front. I mean, again, I still don't know his best position. Maybe I don't need to. The gaffer obviously knows how to get the best out of him. His teammates must think he's an absolute joy. Like, just, you know what, we're struggling. I just chuck Mikel Merino. It doesn't matter. Midfield, left back, right back, centre forward. Just Merino will do the job. What else can you say? I mean, we've talked about what happens when the strikers come back in. He'd be a great option off the bench. I think he's looked a little tired recently. He's been playing a lot of games. I wonder if tomorrow is going to be a bit of a respite, because obviously we've got Rice and Zubimendi in the middle, hopefully, and Victor Gyökeres is probably fit to start, and Villa play quite high line. But the question to both of you before we move on, I mean, could Merino play centre back? Maybe not tomorrow, but I mean, is this even an option? I can't believe we're talking about this. Is he an option? I don't know.
Probably. I mean, he's done it everywhere else.
At this rate, he's going to have to be, the way our centre backs are dropping like flies. To be fair, if you look around, it's him or Declan Rice, and you probably don't want to move Declan Rice.
No, you don't. And this is quite funny. Jonathan says, I'm fine with Merino, but just keep him away from midfield. Yeah, I mean, look, in the Premier League, midfielders, they don't have time to breathe. And that's the point about him taking a bit too much time on the ball. A little bit clumsy, as many people have said. Pazza says, you can't say he's terrible without looking at some of his assists. Clunky, maybe. Yeah, clunky, clumsy, that sort of thing is exactly right. He's an upgrade on the Fellaini role. Marouane Fellaini, of course.
That's not a bad shout. He's very akin
Van
to
Halborn, didn't he? And wanted to play him up front for United, which was interesting. Mikel is Mikel's brain on the pitch. Not Martin Odegaard anymore. Future manager, says Merino.
Yeah, they've said that.
Only about Merino. I wonder. Kimo, welcome to the show. The all-time GOAT of compilations. Do check out Kimo FC on social. Says, players like Trossard and Merino have to perform and prove themselves every single game to get accepted, whilst more aesthetic players get a free pass for weeks. Absolutely. You're absolutely right on that. And it's because we don't, personally speaking, it's because I can't put him into a category of position. That's why I keep talking about this guy. And I still look at him and think, I don't know what you do. I don't know what position is best for you, but he just keeps pulling performances out of the bags. OTPS says he's better than 2/3 of the other Premier League strikers. I mean, yeah. I've heard that on other podcasts. I've heard people say that he's easily good enough to start for any of the bottom 10 teams. Easily. Adil says, I think Merino gets unfair criticism. He is not the best player, but he is effective. No, Merino is centre-back. God knows, says KSMYW. Tell Arteta, mate. That's what's happening tomorrow. And title number 14, welcome to the show. Better late than never, of course. If you are tuning in for the first time, and there are hundreds of you watching live, please do subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content. Set your notifications on as well, so you're not late. You're not late. And Vlad says, I think the McTominay comparisons are apt. Did you see, just on Scott McTominay,
move on to the next slide, players, man.
They're all on stage and they were all asked who's the best player in Serie A, and they all said McTominay.
All that goes to show is how bad that league now is.
Exactly.
All that goes to show, is that you may as well start calling me Ben Mattinson.
How's your boy Vlahovic doing?
My boy? We're talking about my boy Vlahovic. Don't start with Vlahovic. That's probably Yembele's boy. Right, let's talk about what we're going to talk about next. Barclays. Match week 15. So after the action that we saw this week, we have seen the league table shape up like that. I've already kind of covered that, but look, again, why not? We're 5 points clear at the top, goal difference of 20. Manchester City, who've conceded 6 goals in their last 2 games against Leeds and Fulham, no less, are 5 points behind us. City are at home to Sunderland tomorrow, who of course went to Anfield and almost won. Villa are our opponents. They are just 6 points behind after a devastating start for them at the start of the season. They couldn't score any goals, remember? For love nor money. And here they are, 6 points behind us with a terrible goal difference. But they're at home tomorrow and they can cut the gap to 3, which would be just unbelievable. Chelsea are in 4th after their defeat to Leeds. That was it. I've loved all of the content from Leeds United this week. Like, we are Leeds. Welcome to Leeds. All that sort of jazz. Enzo Fernandez, sorry. In all of the pictures. Brilliant. Crystal Palace are in 5th. Sunderland, who are obviously going to City tomorrow for the 3 p.m. kickoff, are in 6th. Brighton, who were at home to Villa and lost 4-3. Ollie Watkins, 2 great goals from him. He's found his scoring boots. United in 8th after their draw to West Ham yesterday at Old Trafford. Liverpool in 9th. We'll talk about our rivals in a second. These are the fixtures courtesy of PremierLeague.com on the right-hand side, as you can see on that graphic. Bukayo Saka, look at him. Villa play Arsenal 12:30. Bournemouth at home to Chelsea. That could be an interesting game on the South Coast. Very interesting game. Chelsea maybe 2 L's in 2. Everton hosting Nottingham Forest. City at home to Sunderland. I feel City will have too much for Sunderland. Newcastle home to Burnley. Spurs home to Brentford. Leeds at home to Liverpool. Gosh, that's a tasty fixture, isn't it? 5:30 kickoff. Arnie Slot. honey rot. And on Sunday, Brighton play West Ham, Fulham play Crystal Palace. It's probably a good thing that those fixtures are on because I think everyone's going to be watching the Grand Prix. And then Monday Night Football, Wolves host Manchester United. Chaps, what do you think? Match week 15. Tasty, saucy, excited, scared, nervous, anxious?
I think it completely depends how our game goes first up on Saturday. I think,
do you like kicking off first at the weekends, or would you rather be a Super Sunday 4:30?
If we win, I love it if we win. I hate it if we lose. Do you know what? This season we've been treated to some hate watches for multiple weekends, and a lot of those have come before we've played football. I'm very scared now that this is the hate watch that everyone is tuning in for. We're first. And I just don't want to obviously give the people what they want, and more importantly for us, we just need to keep winning at the top of the table. I'm interested by a lot of those fixtures, but yeah, I think the biggest part for us is just making sure that we do our job at a tough ground. I'm fed up of having the same conversation in the sense of, oh, it's a statement game. It's a statement game, like you said. The North London derby was a statement game because it's a North London derby. Bayern Munich was a statement game because they're one of the best teams in Europe. Chelsea was a statement game because they were the informed side, and now Villa is a potential statement game at a tough away ground against this team who are banging form, against a manager who likes to ruin our parties for whatever reason. And yeah, we're up first on the Saturday, so I trust us to get the job done, but these injuries aren't helping my confidence at all because we're just dropping like flies at the minute, especially in defence. But yeah, if we get the job done and we win, I'll be hoping that your boy Xhaka can do us a favour. 3 p.m.s for Manchester City on a Saturday have tended to end in like 6-0, 6-1s. When no one watches Man City, that's when they tend to show up and just batter someone. That Liverpool Leeds game at Elland Road, that's going to be feisty because the Leeds crowd is going to be up for it. And yeah, Sunday is a bit of a come down day, isn't it? Because no one's really going to care about that. Although, to be fair, Crystal Palace are doing really, really well. And looking at the title, look, between 4th and 14th. First of all, I can't believe that Bournemouth are down in 14th after they started the season so well. It's mental.
They were third like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, only 5 points split in 4th to 14th. So everyone is trying to get as many points on the board to qualify for things like Europe. So yeah, let's just win and then I'll enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Indeed. Vivlas says 12:30 atmospheres tend to be subdued. Hopefully works in our favour. I can't wait to get to Villa Park tomorrow. Early morning start for me and Wally on the road, but we will do a post-match act pass, of course. Shane McD says it's my daughter's christening tomorrow at 12:15 p.m. I'm going to get in so much trouble with the alerts going off on my phone. I was worried how you're going to end that there. I thought he was going to say I'm going to get in so much trouble for not being there. That would have been the FK way. But congratulations, Shane. May she be blessed with a long and prosperous life, my man. Enjoy the celebrations tomorrow. I'm sure it's a very, very big day for you, her, and of course your family. Ray Beam's in the house this evening, FK, evening chat. Hopefully a bad evening for Unai tomorrow. Indeed. Yem, how are you feeling going into this weekend's fixtures?
Yeah, I just want our game out of the way. I just want to win if possible, and then I can relax and watch the rest of it. Yeah, 12:30 kickoffs are not my favourite. I'm not a big fan of them. It just fills me with a bit of dread because, as Wayne said, we've been treated to some very good hate watching, and I just think that our time may be coming where we're going to be the butt of the jokes.
Well, hold that thought. Hold that thought. We will come on to our thoughts on the game and the prospect of playing Aston Villa just shortly, but on the subject of hate watching and sort of rival watch, we've not done this in a few weeks. We did it a few weeks back to kind of just talk about the starts that are sort of more common rivals have made. A couple, obviously, from a title perspective, a couple of sort of London rivals. Manchester United aren't really just not bothered about them anymore. From a rival perspective for the title, someone said earlier in the chat, I didn't want to bring it up, but I'm going to mention it. We're 15 games in. We're 23 games away. What are we made of, I guess, City? Are they, for both of you, the rival, the favourites? Or are we favourites? I mean, yeah, Wayne, you were quick to nod there. Pep Guardiola's team, the team to finish above?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the way that the season has started, it's kind of panned out that way. And I don't think that they're the City of old, but they still have the greatest manager of all time. They have what will potentially go down as the greatest striker in Premier League history if he keeps scoring at these cyborg rates. They play football in a way that we've never seen them play before. It's direct. They run more than ever. They just kind of go long to Haaland. And before the Fulham game, if Haaland didn't score, City tended to not score. But they're defensively all over the place this year. Like I've never seen them defend in this way before. But with that pedigree, with that history, and the fact that they've given us so much PTSD in the past, they're always going to be the ones to beat. But I think we have to shoulder the favourites badge because we're a very good side, and we've been a very good side for the past 4 or 5 years now. We're better this year than we were last year and the season before, and we've got a deeper squad, and we're playing in a different way, which is a lot more suited to like Declan Rice, to Zubimendi, to our attackers, and we're defending at an elite level. Our clean sheets and stuff like that have been brilliant this year. So we're definitely the favourites, even though it's only 15 games. It's not even halfway in the league season yet. We've come out on top, 5 points clear, having travelled to Anfield. We've travelled to Old Trafford. We're travelling to Villa Park. We've travelled to St James's Park. We've got a North London derby at home out of the way. We've got the Etihad out of the way. So yeah, we've got a lot
Chelsea
of
out of the way.
Chelsea out of the way.
We haven't been to the Etihad. We haven't been to the Etihad.
No,
that's end of April. That's where we win in the league.
But when you but when you think about our bogey teams, when you think about our bogey teams and the sides that have messed us around in the past few years, Newcastle away from home have done us the last few years. We've got that out of the way. West Ham at home got that out of the way comfortably. And like I said, the big ones at Anfield, Old Trafford, and stuff like that. We're in a very, very good spot. We're in a really good spot. So we have to sort of keep that badge of favourites and wear it with pride, because I think that's what we are.
Yeah, let's turn our attention to Liverpool. Jonathan says people aren't dissing Liverpool enough. What a fall off. 2 questions for you, Yem. A, are they the worst defending champions that you've ever seen? And B, is the season, certainly in the Premier League, a write-off for them? Or can they stage a bit of a comeback now that Alex Isak has his first goal for the club?
I think for the money they spent, when if you look at fall-offs, Leicester, you could say, could be an example, but I'm talking about Liverpool won the championship and then spent 400 million. That usually indicates that you progress. You elevate your squad and you move up because you're spending that amount of money. That's usually equals quality. So I think, in all honesty, I think your argument is correct that they probably are the worst, defending champions, because for the amount of money, the talent that's still in the squad. Granted, there are a few caveats here. We obviously know what they are, but yeah, the drop off has been spectacular. But I don't think there's any surprises in there. You've got a couple of players who are getting to the latter stages of their career, and we've now started to see a physical drop off. Virgil van Dijk does not look as invincible as he did. Certainly playing a lot of volleyball lately. Loves.
Did you see the defending for the goal they conceded to Sunderland?
Awful.
I mean, the guy passed it to him and then worked his way into conceding.
Volleyball, twerking.
He has a massive, massive backside.
The thing is
it's
that
called aura, FK. That's what it is. It's called aura.
I have an aura when I go to the toilet. That's a different kind.
Virgil van Dijk, mate. Virgil van Dijk.
No, but that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, you look at Mo Salah. Mo Salah is certainly, they relied on him all last season, and look at him this season. It's very much a drop off, a massive drop off, and Virgil van Dijk's.
They don't even have any serious injury problems, like DJ D10 says. Like it's genuinely a drop off.
Well, I don't think they addressed some of the deficiencies in their squad. I think Gravenberch is starting to be found out a little bit. The way he's being bypassed very quickly. Before they were talking about, he's an amazing 6. We found our number 6 and all that. I think he's more of an 8. He feels like more and more of an 8. As a 6, he lacks the defensive nous, if we call it that, and he makes rash mistakes. I think as well that right back area is a real problem. That their fullbacks are genuinely a problem. Kirkez is not a fullback; he's a wing back as well, and so is Frimpong. They don't have anyone there. They play Joe Gomez there. Joe Gomez is all right, but he'll get injured as well. It's it just feels like, and again, the Verts hate watch still goes on because he didn't score. Everyone, like in our group, when everyone's like, "Oh, Verts has scored," and then when they did it, they were like, "Yes," because obviously, look, he's a quality player and he will come good at some point, maybe. But right now, they're trying to fit him into the team. Everything feels like it's crowbarred with Liverpool. They're trying to get the players in. Even Isak's goal, maybe it's the start of the turn, but I'll be very honest. When I saw the goal, it was kind of, he should be scoring that. It came to the perfect angle. If he's generally what I've seen with Isak, he's struggling with Liverpool's slower build up. Newcastle played a very direct game and he thrived off that. Liverpool don't play that, and I think he's still struggling with that. Ekatike still looks like the better striker to me that fits Liverpool, but I think they'll still get to the Champions League places. I just think there's more twists and turns for them. I don't think this is the end of their result. I think Leeds tomorrow is a big one. Given the history of the fixture, Ellen Road seems to be a really tough place to go because the Leeds get at it very quickly. And I think Liverpool tomorrow may struggle as well with that kind of high intensity start that Leeds offer.
Yeah, and listen, there's that whole sort of northern derby. For years we've had so many London derbies that now Liverpool go to Ellen Road and it's going to be a feisty.
It's a classic fixture.
It is, yeah. I mean, look, I think Arne Slot has absolutely lost the plot, and I don't know what's happened. Obviously, there's rumours about sort of him losing the dressing room, and Diogo Jota, his passing has been really detrimental in terms of mood and morale, and maybe around the camp it's caused a bit of divide. That's, again, it depends on what you read and who you believe. They have gone so backwards, it's unreal, and they spent so much money adding to a title-winning squad, and the Klopp memory muscle seems to have faded, and they have nothing about them. Long may it continue. I kind of hope that it doesn't turn into too many defeats. I don't want him to get the sack. I would like them to stick with him and let the rot continue. But if he doesn't make the Champions League, it would be highly amusing. But I think he will probably go. Best atmosphere in the league, says at Leeds, Jonathan. Just a couple of quick words, not too much on our London rivals. Obviously, Chelsea, we got a point there. They're going strong. They think they're in the title race. I don't know. And Spurs, I mean, Thomas Frank.
Without Caicedo, Chelsea are nothing. I've just
even with Caicedo, but Thomas Frank. I mean, this is a guy who I quite liked at Brentford, and I was a little bit nervous about for once they've actually got a manager who's decent and likable and sociable and friendly and a good coach, and he seems to have just lost the plot. Thoughts on our two London rivals, chaps? Go on, yeah.
I think he's struggling with the demands of a bigger club. At Brentford, he had been in the job for a long time. When they got to the Premier League, he'd been in the job for a while, and they didn't have the expectation that he would do this, and this. Now he's at Spurs, who expect him to play a certain way, deliver results every week, not be the underdog. I think that kind of identity and that kind of shift in how he should be operating, I think is a real struggle for him. And I think as well, big personalities. Remember, that Spurs dressing room is not, you've got bigger players, bigger expectations. And I think he's struggling with that piece. At Brentford, they were all pulling in the same direction. They had good players, but they wouldn't be necessarily big household names, would they? That, they're players who they build up. And I think with Spurs, it's a different mentality. And I don't think there's much room for him to lose many more games. I think that I think maybe 2 to 3 more games. This weekend's one against Brentford, because obviously it's against his old club, will be interesting as well. Newcastle you can forgive, because Newcastle, again, you go to St James's Park, it's always a tough game. And I think, being frank, he got lucky, but it's kind of saved him in that they got a 2-2 draw away at one of the most, one of the hardest grounds. But I don't think he's long for the job. I think he may go in a couple of weeks.
Wow. I love the way you dropped being frank in that. Wayne, Frank to go in a couple of weeks. Do you buy that?
Yeah, probably, because I think Spurs think that they're bigger and better than they are. And I think that they think they should have this master manager come in and play champagne football. And there's talk of them hiring Xavi, the former Barcelona coach. If he goes there, it will be another Spurs car crash, because there are no players there that can play Xavi football. And he's not going to be able to do what he wants to do as a coach with the players that he's got. And Spurs are never going to give him the amount of money to play the football that he wants to play. So it will just be another 18 months of they'll pass it around nicely and then they'll want to sack him again. I think Frank deserves a little bit more time simply because I don't think they're gonna realistically get anyone better than him. I didn't think he was going to be. You were a lot more sort of intimidated and scared of him going to Spurs than I was. Like Spurs are going to Spurs, whether he's in charge, whether Xavi's in charge, or Arsene Wenger decides to come back for a day and manage them. Like they're just going to Spurs with this set of players. That's just the type of club that they are. But more impressive, we have to give credit to Chelsea for their 1-1 victory last weekend, because that is all that really matters. They won 1-1 against us, and it doesn't really. That's their season done. Title race is over. Everything else is fine. They won 1-1 against Arsenal. That's the true victory.
Yeah, I just want to come back on I wasn't intimidated by Frank. I think it was the first appointment that I thought, okay, they might actually have a good coach here. Never did I think they were going to overtake us or get into the title race or anything like that. But the thing about Spurs is that off the pitch, they are absolutely massive in terms of revenue generation. Their stadium is putting them high and above anything that we could dream of at the Emirates. They generate so much money that one day you chuck enough mud, some will stick. They will get lucky with a managerial appointment and they could do bits. But I thought, Thomas Frank, like I say, I think he's a good coach.
But that squad is average. That squad is so
average. Tottenham. Yeah, well, they've had some big injuries as well, to be fair. Let's see what happens. Let's move away from that. Right, still to come in the final sort of 10, 15 minutes, we're going to talk about, obviously, the Villa game. And then after that, we are going to give a shirt away to one of our lucky Patreon members. So do keep involved in the chat. And if you're obviously one of our Patreon channel members, very, very grateful for your support. Stick around. There'll be a spin the wheel type thing that you will see shortly. It's been a great show so far. My thanks to everybody for tuning in on this Friday night. It is third against first at Villa Park. These graphics courtesy of PremierLeague.com. You can see there the top three. Unbelievable, really, that Aston Villa find themselves in third place, having started the season without being able to score a goal. Do you remember? Unai Emery out and all that sort of stuff. And now look at them. 8 wins in their last 9 Premier League games. The only defeat coming to Liverpool. Liverpool's probably only victory in their sort of last 9. You can see they're a very impressive run of fixtures there, chaps. Brighton, of course, they beat 4-3 just in midweek. A home win in the Midlands derby over Wolves. They went away to Leeds, who are tough at Ellen Road, and won there. They spanked Bournemouth by 4-0. Obviously, the blip at Anfield, but prior to that, they beat Manchester City at Villa Park. They went to Spurs and won. They beaten Burnley, and they beat Fulham very, very comfortably. Before we talk about lineup and Mosquera and who might play and what our match predictions are, I know we've talked about the early kickoff on Saturday. Neither of you sort of seem to like it, but for me, the Saturday morning games, the atmospheres are typically very subdued, and I think that could work in our favor. Villa seem to have. There's a bit of sort of PTSD from my perspective, like Villa Park. Aston Villa have beaten us many times over the years, but in recent years we've done pretty okay. What are your sort of one-line sort of moods going into the game ahead of tomorrow? Are you excited? Are you a little bit nervous? Are you scared? Would you take a draw? That sort of thing. Yem, you go first.
Nervous. Definitely nervous.
What makes you nervous?
Villa's form, they've peaked. They're starting to come into form at the right time for them. We are, I wouldn't say, in our best moment necessarily. We're winning games, but we do look lethargic. I think we look tired. I think we've had a very grinding schedule, and I think it's the injuries, the schedule have just taken hold. And, even against Brentford, I wouldn't say we were clicking into gear. I know we had a lot of rotation. I just think that it's always an awkward game at Aston Villa. They know how to make it difficult. We've done very well in the past there, but it's just got that feeling of a banana skin and we've had a lot of them and we've done ridiculously well, but this one just feels like a little bit more dangerous. Villa have crept up very, very slowly. It's like an assassin. They're in third, and if the right results go the right way for them tomorrow, they could be 3 points behind us, which is crazy considering how they do it. You know, their goal difference is shocking. So they will let in goals, but equally they're capable of, and they've done it before, getting a dirty 1-0 against us by being completely, physical off the park. They've got that capability. So I'm just concerned. It's a Midlands game, a cold pitch as well. Don't forget, I think it's been quite icy in the Midlands. 12:30 kickoff. It's got all the wrong elements to it that I do not like, and what message I'm sending tomorrow morning to you guys.
Yeah, you're very nervous. I can sense it. Let me make you feel a little bit better. At no other Premier League game have Arsenal won more games in Premier League history. Selhurst Park and Villa Park are our two best grounds for wins. However, Wayne, since losing this exact fixture in August last year, Aston Villa have lost only 1 out of their last 25 home games, winning 16, drawing 9. I mean, they are formidable at Villa Park. And if anything, Unai Emery deserves a lot of credit for that. What are your thoughts? What's your mood going into the game tomorrow, Wayne?
I'm looking forward to it. I'll be nervous once kickoff comes, but I'm looking forward to it. If I'm not looking forward to Arsenal playing football in the middle of a 17 game unbeaten run, where we've played some wonderful football, we've beat teams with set pieces. Now we don't even know how to create from set pieces anymore. Our set pieces don't even beat the first man these days because we're just so good at creating from open play chances. Defensively, we've been incredibly solid, and yeah, we've got injuries, but we've got player quality that can come in and still look solid to cover that. It's not ideal long term, but for this game against Aston Villa, I trust them to go out and get the job done. With 5 points clear at the top of the table, I think if we win this, we're probably guaranteed top at Christmas, which is always something that you want. It's always like a target that you want, to be top on New Year's, to be top at Christmas, because there's only a couple more games in the league before then, and it's just a chance to open up a bit of a gap. Obviously, City will have the game in hand, but for City to kick off 8 points behind us in December, that's still big. And we know what that pressure feels like on the other side when City kicked off first and they went 5 points clear or 8 points clear. We know what that felt like when they managed to do that. So it's a real opportunity for us to give that feeling to them. And I think that every obstacle this season so far that we've had, we've overcome it. We were nervous at St James's Park. We were nervous at Anfield. Unfortunately, we lost that one, but it took a wonder goal in order for them to beat us at Anfield. We were nervous at Old Trafford at the start of the season, and we came away with a win there. We were nervous going into Bayern Munich. So I think that this team has deserved our respect in the sense of trusting them to go out there and hopefully get the job done. And Villa tend to do big, weird things in big games, like that Liverpool game where they lost 2-0. Everyone kind of knew how Villa should play to trouble Liverpool, because that's how everyone has troubled Liverpool this season. Then they rocked up to Anfield, played everyone behind the ball, and just kind of accepted their beating, despite the fact that Liverpool weren't good. So yeah, my biggest takeaway and concern is Uncle Unai himself, because he just tends to come alive tactically against us. I don't know whether it's the hatred. I don't know whether it's just the fact that he's a really good coach. But yeah, he tactically comes alive against us, and it will be a good game against two good sides. But I still think we're going into, even though Villa have the form, I think we're going into it as favourites.
DJ D10 says Emery did actually rest all his best players against City a couple of years ago just to beat Arsenal. The streets won't forget. I will absolutely remember that. And Jonathan says, Yova, time for a good set-piece goal tomorrow. Right, let's look ahead to the actual selection, match thoughts, predictions, etc., etc. Just as I bring up the lineup and subs bench from Wednesday's game against Brentford, let me just go through some of the highlights of Mikel Arteta's press conference. Of course, he's been speaking to the media ahead of the game against Aston Villa at Villa Park, and the key lines were, He talked about Declan Rice, said, we'll see. We have another training session this afternoon, i.e. already gone by. Every hour is going to be important, he said. Christian Mosquera, of course, now has been confirmed as having an injury after that sort of awkward landing, awkward fall. He is now going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks, according to Sami Mokbel. Arteta also confirmed that it's going to be a matter of days until both William Saliba and Leandro Trossard return and are available for us. Lots of people talking in the chat. Let's hope, let's fingers crossed that Saliba and Trossard are back. I think the game comes too soon for them both tomorrow. Looking ahead to the festive period, Arteta said that, look, when it's possible to give players an extra day or two, then we will do that to rest. He acknowledges he's got a big squad. He's got to use it. He's not been doing that so far, and we do have some key injuries. He talked about Mikel Merino, saying that he's earned at least the right to be thinking and playing up top. The way that he's performing, the impact that he's bringing to the team, phenomenal. He said that consistency is the message that a win would send to their title rivals, i.e., we take a game at a time, but Arsenal are winning games, racking up points, and we are beating teams home and away and consistent in manner of performance. He was also asked about having the squad depth to win trophies. He said, look, we built a squad that was the best one to do it. Is this where I want to be? No, but that's because of the injuries. I'm very happy now with the squad, and we are dealing with certain situations. And then, of course, he was asked about January, and he said, we always need to be open. Big Bertie's going to do some sort of madness. Did you hear that Antoine Semenyo's family were at the Emirates on Wednesday night? Did you hear that? Did you hear
his Ghana? Did you hear the Ghana coach saying, "Well, it's time for him to move now"? With respect, they've already at the World Cup. They said
acknowledge. So look, those are the nuggets from the press conference. It is unlikely that Saliba will be back tomorrow, nor will Leo Trossard, which is a massive shame, unless there is a surprise on us. Mosquera obviously out of the team. So let's go through the 11, chaps. And let me know in the chat what your 11s would be. I'll bring up some of the comments. So David Raya, absolute sort of nailed on to start tomorrow in goal. And he's been fantastic at Villa Park in recent years. I remember the double save from Ollie Watkins. Remember that? Just was that last season or the year before? Can't remember. Ben White, who I thought was magnificent on Wednesday. Does he maybe keep his place? And does maybe Jurien Timber start at the heart of defence alongside Piero Hincapié? Discuss, chaps.
Yeah, it's the only option that we've got now. I think White gives you more on the outside than maybe Timber would if you're balancing up. And that's purely, it's not that far off, but Timber will probably be at centre-back. I don't think there's an aerial threat necessarily. Ollie Watkins is very good in, as a general forward, but I think Timber being there, I think it's a given for him there.
The only hope is if Saliba might be back. Fingers crossed he is, because I'd rather obviously Saliba plays this game. We've got a Champions League game in midweek. I don't mind Saliba missing that one away in Belgium. Hopefully he's back, but if he's not, then yeah, Timber at centre back, White at right back.
Okay, so White right back, Timber centre back on the right hand side with Piero Hincapié obviously as our left centre back. Calafiori or Miles Lewis-Skelly?
Calafiori.
Okay, unequivocal there. And as we move into midfield, the skipper was back against Brentford, looked okay, looked very good at Stamford Bridge, I thought. Maybe that was the impact of being fit and coming off the bench in a game that Chelsea had obviously exerted all of their sort of energy on. Does the skipper start for you both tomorrow? And who lines up alongside him? Zubimendi and Rice in the double pivot?
It depends on Rice, doesn't it? If it's not Rice, then I assume it could be Mikel Merino actually drops back into the midfield with Zubimendi, or otherwise it might be Norgard. I think it's...
Rice has to start the game tomorrow.
Well, again, it depends on injury.
After he went off injured, he was laughing and joking in the mixed zone on the game on Wednesday night. He probably will. He did the lap of appreciation. I think he's fine.
Given that you've got problems in defence, you're going to have to start Rice and Zubimendi if you can, because again, to Wayne's point, Bruges is probably the one where you rotate out. It's a little bit easier, but if you're that hampered in defence, you're going to need Declan Rice's ability to track back as much as possible.
I don't think Odegaard starts this one.
Ooh, the club captain not starting.
Yeah, nothing against him, but I think he just looked
exactly against him. Go on.
I just think he looked a little bit leggy at the end of that Brentford game. Obviously, he's missed a lot of time. I don't think the intention was maybe for him to play the full 90, but obviously we weren't in a comfortable position to take him off early against Brentford. And I hope Trossard will be back for this one. So for me, I think you play it as a central with Rice and Zubimendi, and then you slot Trossard back in on that left-hand side.
Interesting. Jonathan's made a good point here. Onana and Rogers are going to test us physically, both very powerful runners, both endurance athletes. I mean, I can't see us not playing Odegaard tomorrow. I think Odegaard has got to play club captain. You need, to get him fit, he's going to need game time. And it's a massive fixture. I think Odegaard plays tomorrow. I think he plays alongside Rice and Zubimendi. And I actually think Eze will play wide left.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he'll start wide left. I think Martinelli has looked a bit, has struggled.
Not his best game Wednesday night, was it? Yeah.
It's not his game, but
again, but neither of you think Trossard will be fit?
No. I don't think he's fit.
Okay.
No, I've not checked the group chats all day, so don't know what Hand of Arsenal's been telling us, but
I don't think he said much. I think Trossard will be fit. Well, I keep saying a matter of days. I don't think both him and Saliba will make it. I don't think Saliba makes it. So I think Trossard will. And I think if Trossard is fit, I think he starts. He has to.
No, if Trossard's fit, he'll start because you need having Martinelli against Cash is not really Cash will leave that up all day. You want someone who's a little bit clever with the movement. Eze would be fine for me. I think Eze from the left would be, if Trossard's not fit, I'd go with Eze from the left.
And maybe Martinelli off the bench. Moots says Rice, Subi and Merino. Lots of people say Martinelli will start. Siak Dudu, says this is a transition game. Best not to start Odegaard. No.
That's where I think transition. The transition is where he does well as well. He's
got to play the skipper. So look, if it's going to be Eze on the left-hand side for us or Trossard on the left-hand side for Wayne, that's the big question. Who's playing up top? I mean, Victor Gyökeres and Gabby Jesus both fit to be on the bench on Wednesday. Gyökeres, of course, coming on for the last few minutes. Does he start up front for you, Yem?
Yeah, because it's a mid-block. I think Mikel Merino does better against a deep block because it starts to pull the defence out. But against a mid-block, which Villa are, that's their game, you want someone to pin those defenders back and actually force them a little bit further back. I think this is a game tailor-made for Victor Gyökeres. There's going to be a bit more space in between the defence and the midfield because Morgan Rogers and Onana tend to bomb on more than sit back. And McGinn will probably be in that midfield as well. So I think Victor Gyökeres there to occupy Mings, and it's probably going to be Pau Torres, isn't it? And I think that's what you want. You want him in that kind of game. For me personally, I think Mikel Merino's done a fine job. But as you said, he looked a bit tired actually against Brentford, and I think he has played a lot of minutes now. So it's time just to give him a rest and just let him recharge for Club Brugge. I think he'll be back in for Club Brugge for me personally.
And on the right-hand side, Wayne, Bukayo Saka obviously coming off the bench to score what was a great goal in front of me and my son on Wednesday night, a very wholesome moment. Does he start for you back in the starting 11, or does Noni Madueke get a few more minutes?
No, Saka starts. Saka in my team captains because, like I said, I don't think Odegaard starts this one.
Fair enough. Very, very straightforward. This is a lovely message from Louis Adesanya. Louis? Or could be Louisa Desanya. I'm not sure. Hi, FK. My girlfriend and I are listening to you as always as we fall asleep. Silent listeners here. Well, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for listening. And I hope you fall asleep just as we end the show. Thanks for tuning in, man. Really, really appreciate it. And have a lovely, lovely weekend. I mean, look, I think Victor Gyökeres will start. I think Eze will play on that left-hand side. I'm actually really looking forward to Eze and Odegaard being in the same 11. That is what I would do. I would go Odegaard, Rice, Zubimendi. I'd go Ezra on the left, Saka on the right, Victor up top. That is going to be saucy. Where do you think the game's going to be won or lost? And chat, let me have your match predictions for tomorrow before we do our Patreon draw. So Yembele, you've described Villa as a mid-block team. I think Villa Park, even though Saturday morning atmospheres tend to be subdued, I think Arsenal have to just see out the first 15 minutes. I think Villa, even though the atmosphere will be subdued, but they are going to try and come at us very, very quickly. We've got to almost earn the right to play. Like see out the first 15 minutes and then sort of give as good as we get, be clinical, take chances and hopefully score first. Would you agree with that? Disagree? What are you saying?
You have to starve Villa off the ball. I think when Villa will start aggressive and they will try to outplay the very physical game. You've got Onana and you've got Morgan Rogers who thrive on a physical game, which is in the transition. Starve them of the ball, pass it around, which has not been a real strength of ours lately. I think we've struggled with the ball. Against Chelsea, we struggled a little bit with the ball. Against Brentford, I don't think we were great either. Starve them of the ball and try to, just calm the game down, take the crowd out. Obviously, you said as it will be a subdued crowd, but you've got to calm down that atmosphere as much as possible and then just play your game and take your chances, as you said, when it comes along. I just think that Villa will be up for this. They know what's at stake here. They can get into second place. It's Arsenal. They're always up for it. They're going to try and make it a dirty game. That's what it's always been. John McGinn will be right in at us straight away because he's done that all the time. It'll be a dirty game. If Emi Martinez plays as well, that stokes it up always because it's Emi Martinez. But apparently he might be out with a back issue. That would be a big one because his replacement was awful in the midweek. So wait and see.
Okay. So what's the scoreline you're going to go for?
I'm going with a 1-1. I hate it. I hate saying that.
A 1-1 draw. Would you take the draw now? I take it.
Yeah, because Villa Park, and I think again, if you can escape there with points, that's an away game chalked off, as Wayne said before, and you're it's easier.
Wayne, game won or lost for you, and prediction.
I think you just don't allow them space and time to run. And we've done quite well in sort of stifling that space, but don't allow them to get out in transition. Like McGinn wants to run, Rodgers wants to run, Onana wants to run, Ollie Watkins wants that space. And Ollie Watkins has been in terrible form so far this season and suddenly banging in 2 goals right before he faces us. So that's always great. I think they've had Donyell Marlon come into the team and he wants to run. They're always kind of looking for space in behind. And we've been very good at shutting that space out and not allowing teams to run in behind us. But because we've been so leggy recently and we're going to have to make changes to the defence with the Mosquera injury, with the potential Saliba injury. We're going to be running on a defence that are probably not sort of even trained together, let alone had sustained minutes playing together in the Premier League. So yeah, we just have to keep tight, don't let them run, and hopefully nick a goal in that first half just to keep their fans a little bit quiet, because the longer it is 0-0, the louder their fans will get, whether it's 12:30 or not.
There's been quite a few shouts for draws in the chat as Robert says, yep, 2-1 to the Arsenal. Jonathan says, if we win this, I believe we win the league. DJ D10 says, FK, I trust you will call me on a show tomorrow right after the game. Why, what have you said? What have you said, DJ D10? Have you predicted any scoreline? I'm not going to call you out, but let me know what your prediction is. Here he is. He says, I think 2-0 to the Arsenal. Manny says 2-1. Country Budman says 3-1 to the Arsenal. Manny says score first and go after them. 2-2 says Malcolm. Villa will concede and Arsenal to win 3-2. Gosh, I don't think I could take that, especially with Wally. I just don't think I could take it. So Nicholas says 2-0. We're putting our foot down and saying enough. Back in your box you go. Raybeam, welcome to the show. Thanks for your chat throughout tonight's episode. Says 2-1 to the Arsenal. It's going to be a battle, but we can change the odds from the bench. And Classic Dan says 4-0 Arsenal. Fuck Villa. I like that. It just does exactly what it says in the tin. Asasi, welcome. Channel member says 3-0. Gyökeres hat trick. Wouldn't that be a delight, eh? There is rage in the squad this season. Villa will see and pay. Ragamuffin, who says it's been raining in the West Midlands all day, says 2-1 to the Arsenal. Jonathan says big performance from Saka tomorrow. I feel it. Right, there we are. What do I think? Oh, God. Would I take a draw has been a question that has been asked of me today all throughout my day at work. Villa are in good form, 8 wins in 9. It's a tough place to go, blah, 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 Unai Emery. I don't think I take a draw because I think we can go there and win. And I think we will win. I think we're going to edge a 2-1 victory tomorrow at Villa Park. I'd be delighted with that. Any win will do. I'm so tired of Unai, says Doug. Me and you both. Wayne's not. Look at that smile. Look at that smile. D-Day Spring says 3-0 to the Arsenal. 2-1 says Mike. A late winner. Guys, if there was a late winner tomorrow for an Arsenal player, who would you want it to be?
Merino, because why not?
I've got who else? Who else? Yembele,
I'd like
same to you?
to see I'd like Gyökeres to get it because I think he needs just to get him back on track and get that moment.
I would love. I need that. We need that. I think so. It's good afternoon tomorrow, not good evening. Ben White, great shout. Saka always, says classic Dan Smith. And Josh says, thought at first FK was going to say 8-1 to the Arsenal. No, I think 2-1. I think we're going to edge it tomorrow. 2-1. That has been a great show. Thank you. There are over 300 of you watching live on YouTube right now. If you are enjoying the content and watching for the first time, please do, of course, subscribe. Drop a like on the video. It's a massive help to the channel. Thanks for everybody watching all the shows this week. Before we do the draw, we do obviously have a small community on Patreon, which is fantastic because you guys really help the running costs of the channel. And it allows me to give back to the community. And I've just checked. We've not had any joiners in the last few minutes. So I've put you guys all into a hat. Here's a couple of other shouts. Paz of the Cat says an Incapié volley would be a lovely winner. Eza, a lovely late winner. Erdefard. And what else is here? It's going to be Merino. You know it. I know it. We all know it. This is how we do it. Yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Let's do this draw. What can I say? You guys are fantastic in terms of supporting the channel. It is greatly appreciated. What have we done over the last 6-8 months since Patreon has been live? We have given away so much. I've given away match tickets. I've given away Arsenal merchandise, Arsenal vouchers. I've given away t-shirts, design t-shirts. It's been phenomenal. And the giveaways are going to continue. I think the last giveaway was Adam, of course, who joined me at the North London Derby. There'll be more tickets to come, of course, over the next few weeks and months. But tonight, I'm going to give away. I said originally it was going to be an Eza shirt giveaway, but it's going to be a shirt with any name and number that you guys want. So I will give you the vouchers, I guess, that are worth that money for Arsenal.com, and I will send it to you. It doesn't matter where you are around the world. Arsenal.com will do all that shipping for you. Mike, tonight was the first time I've heard Merino and Ballon d'Or mentioned. Only Latte firm. What a show.
Listen, if Xhaka can make the top 15, anyone can.
Why you got to hate on him, man? He's about to do you a favor tomorrow, and you're already throwing pelters. Shave more often, says DJ D10. Yeah, do you know what? It's a really good point. When Wayne's like this and he's trimmed his beard and his head, he looks so on the money. You look good, man. You look good. OTPS says a Merino shirt is incoming. Yeah, likelihood is you'll order a shirt with a different number and they'll send you Merino just because. It doesn't matter what you order, you get in Merino. Okay, let's bring up the Wheel of Spinning. Here we go. This is courtesy of wheelofnames.com.
Can I see my name on there?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Well, keep looking until you can find it. You tell me. Can you see?
Oh
yourself?
yeah, I am down at the bottom there, next to Dan Alpha Wolf.
Have you found yourself? Okay, yeah, Wayne's 20 underscore. There, the bloody underscore. So these are our Patreon members. My apologies if someone happens to win something and you've won something before. That is just the nature of the competition. But like I say, whoever wins, I will arrange for some vouchers for Arsenal.com for you to go and get a shirt with a name and number of your choice. So are we ready, ladies and gents? Shall we do this? We ready, guys? Okay, let's spin the wheel. I've got a click to spin. Here we go. Is it Wayne? Who's that? Tomo, congratulations, my friend. Congratulations. You are the winner of an Arsenal shirt of your choice with name and number. I will hypnotized, says Ray Beam. He's hypnotized at the moment. And no, you're not on drugs. It is a late night lounge here on Latte Firm. Tomo, thank you, first of all, in all sincerity, for your support of the channel. It is great to have you as part of the community. Really appreciate it. And if you can't support us on Patreon or by being a channel member on YouTube, it's just, I'm very grateful for you guys tuning in either on demand or live. Just on demand, you can get these on Apple, on Spotify, subscribe there, leave us a kind rating, all that sort of jazz. But I think we can leave the show there. So chaps, thank you for joining. Really appreciate it. If anybody wants to follow Wayne, he is available at Wayne's World 20 _. He will one day get rid of that, I am sure. And if anybody wants to follow Yembele, he is at Verge 59. Big game tomorrow. 3 points required at Villa Park. It's the early morning kickoff on the Saturday morning. I'll be back tomorrow at some point in the evening, late night, for a match reaction video. Look forward to seeing you guys then. Look after yourselves. Enjoy the game. You Gunners. Bye for now.